Very good morning to you all children. So now we are going to start here with the explanation of the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. So children, first of all I would like to provide you with the introduction of the poem. So what you have been told here, the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost is a simple and short poem. So first of all I would like to tell you that this is a very simple and short poem yet with a deeper and larger meaning. That definitely the poem is a simple and short. Only two stanzas are there in this poem, yet the poem has got a very deep and large meaning. So the poet explains how a little and insignificant act of experiencing snow on one's body can brighten up one's day. So there isn't anything much significant that is happening over here in this poem. It is just a little and insignificant act of experiencing snow on one's body. The poet had been passing by and he felt some snow falling down upon him from somewhere, and this was something that had brightened up his day. This was something that had lightened up his day, and his mood was entirely transformed. So that is the introduction and that is the basic idea of this particular poem. So now we are going to start here with the line by line explanation. So children, now we are going to start with the line by line explanation of the poem, and before starting this explanation of the poem, I would like to tell you that this particular poem is a bit mysterious, and that is why you will really have to pay a greater attention to understand the things. So, see to the lines. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So here the poet is telling you the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So children, first of all, in the very first stanza, you will have to understand the use of two different images which are inauspicious in nature. कि ये फर्स्ट स्टेंजा को समझने के पहले आपको यहाँ पे दो इमेजेस को देखना है. इमेजेस का मतलब कि दो ऐसी पिक्चर्स हैं कि जिनको आपको देखना है. तो दिस इज अ पोएटिक एक्ट. ऐसा पोएट्स करते हैं, वो इमेजेस को इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं अपनी बात को कहने के लिए. तो द पर्टिकुलर इमेजेस दैट हैव बीन यूज्ड हियर इन द पोएम आर द इमेज ऑफ अ क्रो and the image of a hemlock tree. So both these images are considered inauspicious. Both the images are supposed to be ominous in nature, कि इनको अपशगुन की निशानी माना जाता है. क्रो इज ऑल्सो एज्यूम टू बी इनऑस्पिशियस. क्रो एक ऐसा पक्षी है जिसको इनऑस्पिशियस माना जाता है, अपशगुन वाला माना जाता है. एंड इन द सेम वे द हेमलॉक ट्री इज ऑल्सो एज्यूम टू बी इनऑस्पिशियस. दिस इज ऑल्सो एज्यूम टू बी ominous. So the crow is sitting on the hemlock tree. So means double incidents of inauspiciousness is happening over here. So as the poet has started his journey, he has been obstructed by the presence of a crow and the hemlock tree. So the crow was sitting on the hemlock tree and it was probably shivering on account of winter or something happens, and then ultimately the crow shakes down onto the poet the dust of snow. Means the bits of snow. The bits of snow have fallen down upon the poet from the hemlock tree. कि ऊपर hemlock tree के ऊपर जो कौवा बैठा हुआ है उसने poet के ऊपर कुछ थोड़ी सी बर्फ झिटक दी. So initially the poet was disturbed. He thought that probably this is an inauspicious sign and his day is going to be ruined. But then he ultimately girded up his loin, जिसको हम बोलते हैं कमर कसना. gird up one's loin, L-O-I-N, loin. loin का मतलब होता है कमर. तो पोएट ने अपनी कमर कसी and he decided that he is just going to be forgetful of these kind of superstitions. He is just going to be irrespective of these kind of superstitions and he is going to proceed on his way and he would realize whatever he wishes to realize. तो इस तरीके से पहले तो पोएट के मन में ये बात आई कि शायद उसका दिन खराब हो सकता है, क्योंकि दिन के शुरुआत में ही उसको अपशगुन का सामना करना पड़ा है. क्रो को उसने देखा और हेमलॉक ट्री को उसने देखा. तो इस तरीके से it is an inauspicious sign, and what the crow is doing, the crow has been shaking down snow upon the poet. So winter is also not assumed to be anything auspicious. Winter is also not assumed to be anything good, particularly in the European country. So overall you can see that there is only inauspicious things happening around him. There is only ominous things happening around him. कि केवल अपशगुन वाली चीजें ही उसके चारों तरफ हो रही हैं. फिर भी पोएट ने ये डिटरमाइन किया that he would proceed on. And this is an incident that has given my heart a change of mood. So earlier he was thinking that his day might be ruined, but then he had a change of mood and he determined that with the help of his strong willpower he will change his destiny and saved some part of a day I had rued. So In this way, with the help of his determination and courage, he had been able to save some part of the day that might have been ruined, that might have been wasted away. That if the poet would have considered, if the poet would have taken into consideration the inauspiciousness that was happening around him, the ominous things that had been happening around him, definitely he would have postponed his journey. But the poet did not do so. He determined that he has to realize his ambition and he moved on. And in this way, ultimately, he had been able to reach up to his goal. And this is why the poet says that he had been able to save that part of a day that he might have ruined, that he might have wasted away, that he might have spent in regret, कि जो दिन उसका पछताने में खराब हो जाता, उस दिन को उसने बर्बाद होने से बचा लिया. तो बच्चों, इसका मैसेज क्या है? that if you have got determination, if you have got a strong willpower, and if you just make up your mind that you are going to realize your dreams, and if you just set out on your journey, definitely you would be able to get success. So one hasn't to be worried about the inauspiciousness, one hasn't to be worried about the ominous happenings that are happening around him, and he has to hold up his courage and he has to proceed on, and that is the only mantra of success, that is the only way of success. So that is all about the explanation of this poem, and then you are also going to be informed about certain poetic devices that have been used here in this particular poem. डस्ट ऑफ स्नो, रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट की पोएम. तो ये मैंने आपको अभी तक इंग्लिश में एक्सप्लेन किया था, थोड़ा सा मैं इसको और डीपली हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन कर दूं कि आपको ये अच्छे से समझ में आ जाए. तो ये रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट की एक मिस्टिक पोएम है, एक रहस्यात्मक कविता है. यहाँ पे पोएट जो है वो अपनी यात्रा की शुरुआत करता है, और यात्रा की शुरुआत करते ही उसे अपशगुनों का सामना होता है. उसे कुछ अपशगुन मिलते हैं, जिसमें से एक है क्रो और दूसरा हेमलॉक ट्री. तो कौवे को एक अपशगुन की निशानी समझा जाता है, और हेमलॉक ट्री ये भी एक विशैला पेड़ होता है, तो ये भी अपशगुन की ही निशानी है. तो द वे अ क्रो शुक डाउन ऑन मी द डस्ट ऑफ स्नो फ्रॉम अ हेमलॉक ट्री. तो हेमलॉक ट्री के ऊपर बैठा हुआ कौवा जो है वो जाड़े से कांपता हुआ पोएट के ऊपर चंक ऑफ स्नो, बर्फ के टुकड़े गिरा देता है. तो बर्फ भी जो है यूरोपियन कंट्रीज़ में ठंड जो है वो बहुत ऑस्पिशस, बहुत गुड नहीं समझी जाती है, अच्छी नहीं समझी जाती है. तो इसे भी इनऑस्पिशस या अपशगुन का ही सिंबल समझा जाता है. तो एक के बाद एक पोएट के साथ कई अपशगुन होते दिखाई दे रहे हैं कि उसे एक कौवा मिलता है जो कि हेमलॉक जैसे विषैले पेड़ पर बैठा है, और वो क्या गिराता है? बर्फ के टुकड़े. तो पोएट का सामना अपनी यात्रा का शुरुआत करते ही अपशगुनों से होती है. तो शुरुआत में उसके मन में ये बात आ जाती है कि शायद उसकी यात्रा सुखद ना हो, उसकी जर्नी अच्छी ना हो, क्योंकि उसकी शुरुआत ही खराब हो गई है. परंतु उसके तुरंत बाद ही उसके मन में एक पॉजिटिव फेथ, उसके मन में एक डिटर्मिनेशन जागता है, और जो उसके मूड को चेंज कर देता है. वो ये सोचता है कि ठीक है, ये सुपरस्टिशंस, ये जो भ्रांतियां हैं, इनको दिमाग में रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. आदमी अपने कर्मों से सफल और असफल होता है, और इस तरीके से उसको एक पॉजिटिव होप मिलती है. हैज़ गिवन माई हार्ट अ चेंज ऑफ मूड. उसका मूड चेंज होता है और उसे एक पॉजिटिव होप मिलती है, और इस तरीके से वो आगे बढ़ता है और अपनी यात्रा को पूरा करता है. और वो कहता है कि एंड सेव्ड सम पार्ट ऑफ अ डे आई हैड ड्यूड, कि शायद इस तरीके से एक पॉजिटिव होप के सहारे उसने उस दिन को सेव कर लिया, दिन के उस पार्ट को सेव कर लिया. सेव्ड सम पार्ट ऑफ अ डे, कि दिन के उस पार्ट को उसने सेव कर लिया जिसको शायद उसने रिव कर दिया होता, जिसको शायद उसने वेस्ट अवे, बर्बाद कर दिया होता, या रिग्रेट करने में बिता दिया होता. उस दिन को उसने सेव कर लिया. तो इस तरीके से ये पोएम एक पॉजिटिव होप के बारे में बात करती है कि कैसे अंधविश्वासों से बचकर एक पॉजिटिव होप रखने और अपनी कमर को कस करके आगे बढ़ते रहने से ही व्यक्ति को सफलता प्राप्त होती है. तो मेरे ख्याल से ये एक्सप्लेनेशन आपको समझ में आ गया होगा. So children, now we are going to see to the literary devices that have been used here in the poem. So first of all, I would like to tell you the rhyme scheme. So the rhyme scheme of the poem is AB AB and CD CD. That the first and the third lines are going to have their last words rhyming. कि ए बी का मतलब है ए और ए, मतलब फर्स्ट और थर्ड लाइन के जो लास्ट वर्ड्स हैं वो एक दूसरे के साथ राइम कर रहे हैं, और सेकंड और फोर्थ लाइन के जो लास्ट वर्ड्स हैं वो एक दूसरे के साथ राइम कर रहे हैं. जस्ट इन द सेम वे इन द सेकंड स्टेंजा, द फर्स्ट लाइन एंड द थर्ड लाइन हैव राइमिंग वर्ड्स at the end, and the second line and the fourth line have rhyming words at the end. So that is going to be explained once again to you. that the rhyme scheme of the poem is AB, AB, CD, CD. And then another literary device is the figure of speech. So the figure of speech that has been used here is alliteration. So alliteration is that figure of speech where the same sound has been repeated. For example, has and halt. So the sound of H is being repeated here. And then saved some part. So again there is the repetition of another syllable, that is S. There is the repetition of the sound of S, and that is why there is alliteration. That is generally what we call as Anupras Alankar in Hindi. And then another figure of speech is assonance. So what is assonance? Children, you will have to understand the prominence of a vowel sound throughout the line is called assonance. कि जब किसी vowel sound, vowel A E I O U, जब किसी vowel sound का repetition होता है, जब उसके ऊपर जो है एम्फेसिस होती है, उसका प्रोमिनेंस होता है वॉवेल साउंड का, तो उसको एसोनेंस बोलते हैं. लाइक शुक डाउन ऑन मी. सो यू कैन सी दैट देयर इज एन एम्फेसिस ऑन द साउंड ऑफ ओ. शुक डाउन ऑन. सो you can see that there is an emphasis, there is a prominence of O sound, and that is why there is assonance in this particular line. Then another literary device is enjambment. So when the sentences continue to the next line, that you can see that after the end of the first line there hasn't been used any comma or full stop, and the line continues to the next line, the idea continues to the next line, and that is called enjambment. So I hope you would be able to understand that after the end of the first line there isn't any comma or full stop, rather the idea of the first line continues to the second line, and then the idea of the second line continues to the third line, and then the idea of the third line continues to the fourth line. There isn't any separation by comma or full stop, and that is why there is enjambment here. So this is called enjambment. I hope you would have been able to understand that when the idea continues to the next line without the use of any punctuation mark at the end of the previous line, that is called enjambment. Thank you.